Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today, we're jumping right into an advanced, highly practical guide built specifically for you, the infrastructure engineers and sysadmins who are absolutely ready to operationalize machine learning. Now, this explainer is covering part 2 of an incredible 10-part tutorial called Machine Learning for IT Professionals. It's brought to us by Virtualization Options LLC, which is a fantastic Colorado-based technology research, education, and advisory organization. We're going to strictly focus on the advanced fundamentals covered in this second chapter, so let's get right to it. To understand exactly where we're going, we kind of have to look at what we're leaving behind. For decades, the old IT world followed explicit rules-based logic. You know the drill. If X happens, do Y. But the new paradigm, it's all about data-driven ML systems. These systems detect anomalies, predict failures, and literally learn from the data they process. But here is the absolute critical takeaway for today. These brilliant cutting-edge models, they are completely useless without you. IT pros serve as the essential deployment, infrastructure, and reliability layer. You are the bridge that makes ML actually work in the real world. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the system pipeline arc. We're going to cover 1. The shift to ML. 2. Core algorithms to know. 3. Data preprocessing fundamentals. 4. Engineering features for signal. 5. Training under the hood. And finally, 6. ML in IT operations. Section 1. The shift to ML. From rules to patterns. Believe it or not, through things like spam filters and cloud autoscaling, you're actually already managing ML today. Moving on to Section 2. Core algorithms to know, the operational tools. And let's be clear, we're framing these not as abstract math problems, but as concrete operational tools for your infrastructure. The first operational tool in the belt is supervised learning. This algorithm trains on explicitly labeled data to predict very specific outcomes. So if you want to build a fraud detection system, classify your system logs, or predict exactly when a server will fail based on your historical data, this is a tool you reach for. Next up is unsupervised learning. Now this one finds hidden patterns without needing any of those predefined labels we just talked about. It's absolutely ideal for things like clustering network traffic, when you don't know exactly what you're looking for, but you need the system to immediately flag when something behaves weirdly. Unsupervised learning excels at that. The third type is reinforcement learning. And honestly, this one is genuinely fascinating. It learns through a continuous loop of rewards and penalties. In the context of IT infrastructure, this connects directly to adaptive resource allocation and powers dynamic, self-healing systems through sheer trial and error. Now, within those learning types, there are 4 key models you absolutely must know: decision trees, random forests, support vector machines, and neural networks. And you should know that each one comes with distinct operational trade-offs. Some require massive compute power, like neural networks, while others offer crystal-clear interpretability, so you can easily audit exactly why a decision was made. All right, Section 3, Data Preprocessing Fundamentals, the assembly line. This is where we enforce the ultimate golden rule of data: garbage in equals garbage out. We have to treat these pipelines like production systems. There are 3 critical sequential steps on this assembly line. First, data quality as infrastructure. Things like missing values, duplicates, or inconsistent formats. They will corrupt your model training immediately. Second, normalization and encoding. You have to scale your numerical features, maybe using min-max or z-scores, and encode your categorical data before feeding the model. And third, setting up your train, validation, and test splits. And this brilliantly illustrates that exact concept. When setting up those splits, the golden standard is the 70-15-15 rule. You dedicate 70% of your data strictly for training, 15% for validation tuning, and 15% for final testing evaluation. Now, I need to strongly warn you here, data leakage is the silent killer of model accuracy. Never, ever let your test data touch your training data. Section 4. Engineering features for signal. Exposing patterns. This is the fun part, where we turn famously messy raw log data, and we all know how much of a nightmare those can be, into clear, actionable signals the model can actually see. This process really breaks down into 3 key tactics. First, selection, which simply removes redundant variables. Because hey, fewer features mean faster, more accurate models. Then, creation, where you derive new variables. Think calculating requests per second directly from simple log timestamps. And finally, dimensionality reduction. Using techniques like PCA or TSNE is absolutely critical for mathematically compressing high-dimensional data at scale, like your network packet features, without losing the underlying variance. Section 5, Training Under the Hood. Predict, measure, adjust, repeat. Let's demystify what's actually happening inside this continuous learning loop. So, the crucial point is understanding the difference here. Parameters are the variables learned by the model internally during the training process itself. Hyperparameters, on the other hand, are explicitly configured by you. Things like the learning rate, the tree depth, or the number of epochs. You control the learning environment, which fosters real ownership over the entire system. Now, you also have to watch out for silent system failures, usually caused by overfitting and underfitting. Overfitting is when the model perfectly memorizes the training data, but then completely fails in production when it sees new, real-world data. Underfitting is when it just fails to capture the pattern entirely. The fixes? Well, IT pros deploy regularization techniques like L1 or L2 and use cross-validation to ensure the model actually generalizes properly. Finally, Section 6, ML in IT operations, the real-world payoff. This is where it all comes together, showing the serious ROI of these pipelines in daily production environments. Just consider the impact of 72 hours. By training models on server telemetry, we're talking CPU usage, disk I/O, temperature. Predictive maintenance models can flag hardware failures 24 to 72 hours before they actually occur. I mean, that is a massive shift from reactive patching to proactive operations. For security threat detection, we are looking at unparalleled speed. Unsupervised models can flag strange, anomalous network behavior, while supervised models classify known attack signatures, and it's all functioning with sub-second latency to protect your perimeter instantly. And in AIOS and log analysis, natural language processing models can parse literally millions of log lines to instantly surface root causes. In actual production environments, this has been shown to reduce mean time to recovery by up to 60%. That is a real game changer. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this fundamental, powerful operational truth. A model deployed without monitoring is a model you've already lost control of. This just drives home the point that post-deployment operations are everything. You absolutely must monitor its accuracy and drift, just like you'd monitor a server's CPU load. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. The shift from rules-based to data-driven systems isn't coming, it's happening right now. The tools, the algorithms, the pipelines, they are all waiting for that reliability layer that only you can provide. So the ultimate question you have to ask yourself is your infrastructure ready to control the ML shift? Thanks for joining us for Chapter 2, and keep learning.